Good day everyone, my name is Cecilia Cajara and I will discuss about the male reproductive system. As I as I will discuss about this system, the male reproductive system, we will know or we will learn about its function and every parts of the male reproductive system. So now let's start our discussion about the male reproductive system. So the purpose of the organs of the male reproductive system is to perform the following function. First is to produce, maintain, and transport sperm and protective fluid or the semen. The second is to discharge the sperm within the female reproductive tract during sex. And the third is to produce and secrete male sex hormones are responsible for maintaining the male reproductive system. At this time, let's identify every parts of the male reproductive system. These pictures is the male reproductive system. The first part is what we call the penis at this area. This is the penis. This is the male organ used in sexual intercourse and it has three parts. The root, which is attaches to the abdomen, and the body or the shaft. This is in this area, this is the shaft, and the glans, which is the cone-shaped part at the end of the penis. This, the glans of the penis. The glans, also called the head of the penis, is covered with a loose layer of the skin called foreskin. The opening of the urethra, the tube that transports semen and urine, this is the urethra, is at the tip of the penis, this area. And the glands of the penis also contains a number of sensitive nerves endings. The prepuce, this is the foreskin of the penis. Asya niya ang skin na nakaverhan penis. Ini ang penis asya diyaan foreskin nga di haligid. And the erectile tissue of penis ini na part. Once makig-sexual intercourse with lalaki, asya ini na part din ni it na erect na nag-change in size it penis. Then asya ito yan na erect din na part. So that's we call the erectile tissue of penis. Then the pubis. Ini na dinhi. This is the pubis. The ventral and anterior of the three principal bones composing either half of the pelvis, or also called as pubic bone. Iniya din ang pubis is also called the pubic bone or an bone niya din na part. And so the body of the penis is cylindrical in shape. Asya niya, cylindrical riya, napashipin. And consist of three circular shaped chambers. These chambers are made up of special sponge-like tissue. This tissue contains thousands of large spaces that fill with blood. Iniya. When the man is sexually aroused, as the penis fills with blood, it becomes rigid and erect. Pag nakukuha niyan dugo, asya naton hiyan na erect it penis, which allows for penetration during sexual intercourse. So the skin of the penis is loose and elastic. Ini din hiya na prepose the skin. Nagiging elastic naton hiya. To accommodate changes in penis size during an erection. Semen, which contains sperm or reproductive cells, is expelled or ejaculated through the end of the penis when the man reaches sexual climax or orgasm. So, once na ma-reach net male itiya orgasm, magawasan semen at the end of this urethra didina magawas nga daan semen. So when the penis is erect, the flow of urine is blocked from the urethra, allowing only semen to be ejaculated at orgasms. So, once na mag-arko ang penis, and flowhan urine is mabablock hiya. From nga diha urethra, mabablock hiya dinhi, nga the only way na as at makakaagila is the semen during the orgasm or while nag-orgasm it lalaki. The second part is what we call the scrotal sac or the scrotum, or in this area. This is the loose pouch-like sac of skin that hangs behind and below the penis. So this is the penis, no? So adhiya and scrotal sacs or the scrotum. It contains the testicles as well as many nerves and blood vessels. The scrotum acts as a climate control system for the testem. So, dinhi na form an sperm, or for normal sperm development, the testis must be at the temperature slightly cooler than body temperature. So, mas cooler hiya ang scrotum kaysa ang body temperature para makaproduce ang sperm. So, special muscles in a wall of the scrotum allow it to contract and relax, moving the testicles closer to the body for warmth or farther away from the body to call the temperature. The third part is what we call the testis. So, this is the testis. These are oval organs about the size of large olives that lie in the scrotum. This is the scrotum, no? So, ang magyapinian iya testis. Secured at either end by a structure called the spermatic cord. Mostly kuno ang lalaki may daduhan ni testis. The testes are responsible for making testosterone. So, dinhi na produce an testosterone, the primary male sex hormones, and for generating sperm. Dinhi na part nagpo-produce an sperm. Within the testes are coiled masses of tubes called seminiferous tubules. These tubes are responsible for producing male sperm cells. So as I mentioned earlier, ang three na parts, which is the penis, the scrotum, and the testis, amod hiraan mga parts na adahi external structure of the male reproductive system. Now, let's identify the internal organs parts of the male reproductive system, which is na ato nakasakob na parts. The first part of the internal structure is the epididymis, or this is the epididymis. The epididymis is long, coiled tube that rests on the backside of each testicles. It transports and stores sperm cells that are produced in the testes. It also is the job of the epididymis is to bring the sperm to maturity. Dinhi nagiging matured is sperm. Since the sperm that emerge from the testes are immature and incapable of fertilization. So, and then the ductus deferens or the vas deferens. Ini na part, ini na pa line. The vas deferens is a long muscular tube, or asya na pa tube, that travels from the epididymis into the pelvic cavity to just behind the bladder. Asya diha ang bladder, behind the bladder hiya. And the vas deferens transports mature sperm to the urethra. Sugad pag na-mature na ang sperm nga diha epididymis, unroll ang ductus deferens or the vas deferens is asya niya ang agyanan sperms tikadto urethra. The tube that carries urine or sperm to outside of the body in preparation for ejaculation. So, asya niya. The next part is what we call the ejaculatory duct, or hindi hiya na part dinhi. These are formed by the fusion of the vas deferens and the seminal vesicles. So, after mag-aginahan sperm nga diha, ductus deferens or the vas deferens mga nga dinaya, ejaculatory duct dinhi na part. Hasta na mag-release to niya, gumawas tikad to ha, urethra. Magingan niya urethra. The next part is what we call the urethra or the prostatic. Here, this is the urethra. The urethra is the tube that carries urine from the bladder. Asya diyan kuan, bladder, nagkikarry yan urine. In males, it has the additional function of ejaculating semen when the man reaches orgasm. When the penis is erect during sex, the flow of urine is blocked from the urethra. So while nagsasex it lalaki, ang flowan urine is nablock hiya, and the only allow na magkakaagi nga da is the semen. The seminal vesicles, or here, this is the seminal vesicles. The seminal vesicles are sac-like pouches that attach to the vas deferens near the base of the bladder. So the seminal vesicles produce a sugar-rich fluid or fructose that provides sperm with a source of energy to help them move. So nagawas nga diyan sperm no. So ang seminal vesicles, ang iya role is magpamove ang sperm in na tube tipagawas. So the fluid of the seminal vesicles makes up most of the volume of a man's ejaculatory fluid or the ejaculate. So during nag-ejaculate ang lalaki, inihiya siya nagpapamovan sperm tipagawas. Tipakadian tip of the penis. The next organ is what we call the prostate gland. This is the prostate gland. The prostate gland is a walnut-sized structure that is located below the urinary bladder in front of the rectum. Adi ang urinary bladder below hiya, and this is the rectum in front luat hiya. The prostate gland contributes the additional fluid to the ejaculate. Prostate fluids also help to nourish the sperm. The urethra, which carries the ejaculate to be expelled during orgasms, runs through the center of the prostate gland. So this is the prostate gland. And the last part is what we call the bulbourethral gland. These are also called Cowper's glands. These are the pea-sized structure located on the sides of the urethra, just below the prostate gland. Below layang prostate gland. These glands produce a clear, slippery fluid that empties directly into the urethra. So this fluid serves to lubricate the urethra to neutralize any acidity that may be present due to residual drops of urine in the urethra. How does the male reproductive system function? The entire male reproductive system is dependent on hormones, which are chemicals that regulate the activity of many different types of cells or organs. The primary hormones involved in the male reproductive systems are the follicle-stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, and testosterone. Follicle-stimulating hormone is necessary for sperm production, spermatogenesis, and luteinizing hormone stimulates the production of testosterone, which is also needed to make sperm. Testosterone is responsible for the development of male characteristics, including muscle mass and strength, fat distribution, bone mass, facial hair growth, voice change, and sex drive. So that's all about the male reproductive system. I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.